Hello, everybody! It's right after I got this monstrosity set up. So this is fully automated uh, gravel sieving, processing, and smelting of the different kinds of ores. Cool stuff, right? We like cool stuff. Cool stuff is cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to be making sand. So sand is going to go on this wall. It's not going to be as big as that setup, and that's because every time you put something through a hammer, it doubles, right? So this one cobblestone turns into 2 gravel. And whenever we scale like that, it's going to make it quite a bit easier for us to kind of compact things together. So we're not going to be using as many hammers, and we are going to be using probably twice as many sieves. But we'll see what we can get into when we get stuff like that rolling, right? So the very first thing we want is we need our cobble gens. So let's go to the sphere. Let's grab our cobble gens, and if we have some more hammers, what we do is we make about 10 hammers or so. Okay, we got the 10 hammers. Let's get some sieves. Let's make about 20 of those or so. Okay, now that we got the 20 or so sieves, what we can do is we can get what do we want? What do we want? What do we want? We want some meshes, but we can wait for the meshes in a little while. We do have automated diamonds, so we don't have to worry about going and manually getting them. So in the meantime, what we can do is we can just start planning this out here. Okay, okay. So I've done a few things. I've got off my phone call. So what I got here is I have, I believe, 30. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so I've got 30 hammerers here. So the very top ones are going to be getting the cobblestone, and there are 10 of them. And since that doubles, it should go into 20, right? Should have 20 more hammers to accommodate all of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just simply remove all of these connections here because I don't want anything to be inefficient. Okay. Let's make sure everything is still fine there. That's which it is. Okay, so now these are going to be accepting cobblestone, and then these will be spitting out the gravel. Next thing is gold chunks. Gold chunk, and then we got Ceritus crystal. We got charged Ceritus crystal. We've got prismarine shards and prismarine crystals. Prismarine shard, prismarine crystal. Then we got inferium essence. With a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 8, which will fit in one single filter if that's the route we were doing, which we're not. Everything goes into here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this connection there. And so all of the exports are leading straight into this barrel here. Cool stuff. Everything is being fed into there, so there's a few things that I want to send straight into the system. There's a few things that I want to go to a crafter, or there's one thing I want to go to the crafter, and then let's make another crafter real quick while we're here. Crafter tier 1. Let's also get a... We don't need the furnace, do we? I don't believe we do. Okay, you're powered, and, well, getting power. So, the rest is going to come in just a bit, so I'll be right back. And then we can just do a regular all-atom cable like so. What we're going to be doing is we'll just get rid of that, and then we can set that to extract a little bit. Actually, we can do it right now. We can set that to extract, and we can set that to extract. We do need 2 filters. So the only thing that I want it to allow into here would be the gold chunks. So we will set to allow list, and then bam. So that's sending in the gold chunks. If we send that anywhere, it's going to go into the system, like so. And then it sends into there. If we do this, then what we can do is we can do that, and it should end up here. Beautiful. Okay. So the gold chunks are cool. Everything else can go into the system except for the raw gold. The raw gold is already being picked up in the system, and it will be auto-smelted. Everything should be fine and dandy. Now, let's make a little bit of a gold recipe here. Gold ore. We're going to apply that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start remembering things. Let's actually get rid of this so we can do this. Remember, 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 and remember. Since gold is the only thing that we're going to be creating here, we don't need it with anything else. Beautiful. Right. Since it's like that, let's go ahead and go back to the sphere. Let's get a furnace. Boom. So it's going to ignore all of the gold ore chunks, and it's not going to import anymore. But instead, the gold ore chunks are going to be dragged into here and crafted into gold ore, and then shoved into this for it to smelt, and everything should be fine. Okay. And that is the sand process. Cool beans. Let's put all of these in there now. Cool. All 40 sieves have got their stuff, so let's go and go through this whole thing really quickly. So as soon as I set these to extract, all of these should turn on immediately, and then they will be pumping gravel into... so these will be hammering the cobblestone and then shoving them into these two lines of hammers, which will be turning the gravel into sand. As soon as the sand is being put, then they will be extracted through this line here, which they all have been set up just fine. And then they will be directed into the tops of all of the different kinds of sieves, like so. And as soon as the sieves are done, they will spit out everything throughout the sides of them, just like they're saying here. They will spit out everything along the sides and then throw it into this singular oak diamond barrel here. As soon as they're into the diamond barrel here, only and only the gold ore chunks will be sent into here, because this one's set to ignore them, which means these are set to allow, like so. So this one is set to pull the gold ore chunks directly into here, which this is set up to where only those gold ore chunks can be. As soon as it detects 4 of them in such a pattern, then it will create a gold ore, and then it will be shoved into this emerald furnace, where it will spit out a gold ingot and be sent into the system like everything else. Everybody ready for the grand testing of this insane setup? Everybody ready? Are you sure? All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Okay. Turned out the only thing that I needed to do was to get a regular stone hammer and then go into each of these, put the hammer in there, just to like jump start it, and then just take it right back out. And then that's all I needed to do. I'm going to leave that in there just because, yeah. And so, nice. We have gravel, sand, completely automated. Let's watch this. There's 3 and 4, and then smelting straight out it goes. Cool beans. Look in here. Look at that. Look at all that stuff go. What we will do is we will start the automated dust sieving craziness, and we will be utilizing the ceiling for most of it, because if gravel looked like that and sand looked like that, then I can only imagine what the dust is going to look like. Hello, everybody. So what I've been doing is I've basically just been AFKing on the platform here, and so I've gradually been doing some things. Actually, I don't even know why. I could just do this. Okay, so I gradually been doing some things, and as you might have seen, we have quite a few resources now. We got a bunch of copper, silver, all kinds of cool stuff. Then we're actually getting up there in iron pretty well now. As such, all of these are pretty much full, but these are the 1Ks we expected this. So we go around the back here, we can see ain't even started to do all of that one. And now we're just going to fill that one for another extra storage buffer. Eventually, all of these will be 64Ks. But other than that, we don't have to pretty much worry about all of that. Okay, so there's a few things that I kind of like an oversight with this whole thing. There's a few things, right? So you can see some of those. Some of those guys are not being powered because, well, they're not getting stuff. And that's because those hammers haven't been on for a minute. So we're going to go fix that. Basically, this setup over here isn't really putting out enough power for it. Which means we're officially finally running into power issues. And they're basically just the cables, right? So we can kind of do something like that. And then we can get rid of that connection there. And now these guys should have energy once again. Yeah. What about this guy? Yeah. So the only thing he's missing is the cobblestone to put in there, which will come out of this guy. Or the gravel, my bad. Yeah. Okay. The next thing is you can see quite a few of these aren't being used. Part of that is because of the ones that weren't working. The other part was an oversight on my part because the hammerers, yes, even though they do produce 2 per spin, these guys have the diamond mesh inside of them, and look how fast they're going. Look at that. It's insane, right? So just the sheer amount of these means that these are more efficient than those are. So we would have to make more hammers in order to keep up with the sieves at this point. Now, yeah, I could just go ahead and remove a line or maybe even 2 and then have just those 3 lines of 10, and that would probably do it. But I don't think that's needed. We can also get rid of that. So, yeah, I don't think that's needed at the moment. Maybe later we can probably figure something out. Same thing over here. So you can see some of these aren't even being used, and that is purely because these things are slow. And yeah, it's a bit interesting the way they've got it set up here. So we're using a few thousand FE a tick, but other than that, it's not bad. See, these things can generate 56,000 from what yeah. Okay, let's charge this guy. Yeah, also, I renamed this the factory because that's kind of what it's looking like. Also, this is brand new. You haven't seen this. So, let me tell you about these. Actually, have they created one yet? They have. Look at that. How many are in there? Woo! Alright, so, a few things. The first thing is I do want to start working towards this quantum armor, right? But we actually need to get into sieving dust for us to be able to get some of the resources that we need. Let me show you here. So dust, in order to get some of the stuff we need skystone dust, we need Certus quartz dust, we need a bunch of crap, right? Grains of Infinity wouldn't hurt, blaze powder for sure, redstone would be the main one. We need that from sieving the dust before we get into crafting the quantum stuff. Now, another thing about the quantum stuff, in order to get the helmet, for instance, this is the crafting recipe. It looks a little bit interesting, which it is. Another thing is we need something called a quantum processor, which means we need the quantum printed circuit, or the printed quantum circuit, which means we need the quantum alloy along with the quantum press. The quantum alloy itself isn't that terrible. However, let's go back here. The quantum press itself needs a shattered singularity. A shattered singularity is putting a regular singularity along with 200 dust and 2 skystone dust into a reaction chamber with a little bit of lava, and that gets you some cool stuff, right? Well, In order to have that, we need a singularity. In order to get a singularity, we needed to craft these things called the matter condensers, which here's how you craft them. They're actually really easy to get. Okay. Now, basically all we're doing with the matter condensers is we are inputting a metric ton of items into each and every single one of these guys. And these each have a 64K ME storage component upgraded in them, and that is set to condenser output into singularities. And it requires 256,000 cobblestone before we even create one, which is a little bit silly. So I haven't actually held one of these yet. So here we go. We'll get an achievement for that. Probably. Hopefully. Maybe? I don't know. Anywho, they're pretty neat looking. Over here, we have something called matter balls. So the matter balls are used for quite a few different things. We've got compression cards, and we got all kinds of different kinds of paint. We've got the 256 mega storage component, which we will need. We've also, including them in the Philosopher's Stone recipe. That's right, people. We are looking at the Philosopher's Stone potentially in the future. Now, in order to get the Philosopher's Stone, we do need the ultimate singularity, of course, which, in order to get the ultimate singularity, you need to craft it, just like this, inside of the thingies, right? Which means we need a miner, no. There it is, the quantum compressors. So the quantum compressor requires 100,000 of a certain kind of thing. Is there a wand of animation in this? No, so this is going to be quite an undertaking to get the quantum singularity to even use these, but it's nice to have these storing up in the meantime, right? These also only create one matter ball per 256, so they're going pretty quick here. But other than that, it's going pretty decent. We've already got 4 of these, so neat. Anywho, we ready for some dust? All right, here we go. Are set to a hammer, and whenever they do hammer, they double, so then they would split into 2. And then whenever these double, they split it into 2, right? So 2 lines now go into 1, 2, 3, 4. And since these are twice as efficient as these 4 lines, there's only 2 lines. So this should be 100% efficient-ish, maybe even like 80, I don't know. But it should be relatively efficient whenever it finally gets to going. So, that being said, we now have automated gravel, sand, and dust. Appreciate you guys for sticking with me throughout that entire insane 3 different video process. I might even put it into 1. I don't know. But anywho, appreciate you guys for sticking around. And next time, what we are going to be doing is we will be working towards the quantum armor from Extended AE. And that is going to be insane. We might even be able to do a flight card. Let's see. The flight card from Extended AE looks like this. How do we craft? We need an Infinity 4, so that's going to be a while. Alrighty. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. And we will see you guys next round. Let me get a good photo. I ran all the way around, didn't I? We will see you guys. Wow, that looks spectacular. But we will see you guys next time. See you guys.